So from that, then we create these different programs. And we create an alternative, and in this case, we've created an A, B, and C alternative. And we look at a plan. You might put forward a plan that has all the best options, the most sustainable you could be for the future development in Hoi An. And in doing that, you need to then see all of those different components in terms of carbon emissions, water, energy, things I was talking about before, as well as the total cost. So the economic model to this is very important, because at the end of the day, that needs to be factored into your decision making. Similarly to the Singapore example, where there's a lot of capital investment up front coming from the public sector, here there probably isn't the luxury of that much capital available coming from the public sector. So the private sector will need to be much more involved in the actual investment of the community building. And what we start to do with the sustainable metrics is look at doing the best of the best, an okay plan, and then a plan that meets the base metrics or the base key performance indicators that you'll be identifying. So that you can identify where those costs are going to come from, how much the additional will be, how much the capital cost is, and how much the cost is on an annual operating basis. With this project that we did in China, it's in Tianjin, and it's not the Tianjin Eco-City that you've heard probably quite a bit about, but it's an area that's just adjacent to that. And it was looking at a lot of the same metrics, of which we came up with a preferred plan at the end of the day, where the overall cost to the city was a 4% increase. But for that 4% that the city was investing in this new community, they had a 55% reduction in total energy that the city was going to consume. Everything from street lights to building lights was all examined. There's a 40% reduction in the amount of water the community was going to use. There's a 50% reduction in the amount of transportation, number of vehicle trip miles traveled by all the different people from residents to visitors. And overall, that came out to a 30% reduction in carbon from a traditionally designed community, of which the city had originally put the plan forward. So this is something that's fairly powerful, because for 4% you can ask yourself the question, is that worth it? Is the energy saving worth it to you? Is it truly worth being that sustainable with water? And we can start to look at those numbers in terms of what your investment cost will be to truly be sustainable. And from that, from each one of those plans, then we can start to look at the number of jobs that are created within a certain area. We can go through a whole number of different parameters and do each scenario can be done at a good, better, and best component. So that this becomes kind of like a game board where you're modeling different components. And this is during the planning exercise that you can then intelligently make decisions about what the best impact is going to be to the community. So the output to this starts to create the number of homes that are within the community, the residents, the overall population, some of the density issues. The question in Hoi An, do you want to increase residential density? Do you want to bring more people into the city? And what type of housing, what type of facilities do you need to support that growth? Do you need the schools and education? How will you do that? Will it be densified, or will it be following the same pattern of development that historically has happened here? We can look at jobs created within the community. We can look at those training centers in order to help to create higher paying jobs within the tourism industry. A big part of it is the ecology of Hoi An, so that both the water ecology as well as the ecology of the open space is measured, and you're ensuring that there is enough open space so it doesn't become too urban. It also starts to come up with the resource inputs as well as the waste inputs, and then again the cost at the end of it in terms of an overall preferred scheme. I'll show you just a baseline analysis, and this is dealing with just one issue of the planning process that we would look at in terms of the water side. And this is a baseline case, so this is as it is right now in Hoi An in terms of domestic water supply, you have sewage treatment that comes out of it, and you have a domestic potable water and irrigation supply, which is what happens right now. Then if you start to look at how, going back to that initial question, how can we start to reduce the amount of water consumption? Start to create recycling within that. You can look at the buildings. You can look at how to treat water on site with the buildings, with both the commercial properties and residential. You can also look at how water flows into your water systems in terms of being able to put that through biofiltration, wetland habitat, and ponds that become amenities to the community. And that then starts to not only reduce the amount of demand for water, but also makes an impact on the physical condition of your environment and the way in which you want tourists to experience the plant. So overall, I think we're really living in an era of immense complexity. There's so many issues. I mean, just in this room, the number of experts that are coming together to get us started this is amazing. In each place, we need to have tailored solutions that really start to deal with some of the complex challenges that we're going to be going through. And with that, with the need to really create this integrated destination, and that's what this place is going to become, is a strong international destination, which you want to allow for visitors to enjoy this place. You want to allow for the nature that exists here to really thrive, to be a part of the community. You want to celebrate all the historical culture that dates back, as we saw this morning, to the 1500s, the 1400s. Pull that through, celebrate it. You want to have people that are engaged. They have places to meet. They have events to participate in. They come together in community to either celebrate arts, culture, or just society itself. And fundamentally to all of this, you need to have a plan that allows business to invest. And this might be somebody investing in a stall to sell rice on the street, to somebody coming and investing in a huge integrated destination resort where they're going to be putting $2 or $3 billion into your province. And fundamentally, that is what's going to help to improve the overall sustainability of the plan. It'll improve the overall standard of living here, quality of all of the facilities. And it's important not to forget that in developing the plans. So I think what I tried to go through with you is the overall notion of sustainability, but then a measuring mechanism. And we've adopted this one mechanism, but there are other ones. But this is the point I really want to leave you with, is when you're starting this process, to have something that's measurable. So when you're talking about all the great moves and strategies you did now, 10 years from now, that it is measurable, it's identifiable, and you can speak very intelligently about the great aspects you did in order to capture a greater population of tourists within Hawaii and surrounding area. Thank you.